So this one we get a lot of gap, right? So this is what we're going to fix. From where to where? From you have all from this one all the way down to right here also. Can you see the gap right underneath here? Can you see the gap right here? Yeah, okay, so we're gonna fix the gap right here. Okay, so all the way to that. You're using this high speed, or you can use low speed, either way, okay, depend on your preference. So we're going to let's going to use this one. See, this bird is kind of wobble a little bit. You see, this one doesn't wobble, okay? So now we're going to roughen this surface. So make sure your finger rest it, and then do very gently to don't go up to your contact point, okay? Just go underneath there, and then just on the surface. Alternatively, you can use sandblasting to create a rough surface right there. So just make sure you get the whole surface roughened, including all the way down to your margin. And then go over here also. Now I know that some of these you already have the resin go over your red mark, right? So I'm just leave that like that, and then try it out.
Yes, there you go.
Okay, so I can roughen a little more. So this is a very important process. So you make sure you create those rough surfaces all around like that, and then make sure it's clean. And then you're going to clean it with the monomer. So you're going to get a little monomer, and then just activate the surface like that. Like that, right? And then you can try it or not try it, doesn't matter. So like that. So we're gonna put this one back in here. Like that, okay? So what's the interproximal? First we're gonna use Vaseline and put the Vaseline, and then just make sure you Vaseline the adjacent teeth, and then the tooth that you're going to work on itself. Okay? Do well, and the gingiva also, like that. And then just remove the excess of your Vaseline. You don't want to have too much of Vaseline, and then put it aside. You see the gap. You see the gap right here. And we're going to add the stuff onto the gap. So you see this part, step on this one, and then go in and touch a little bit between the compound up here. Put it upside down, hold this one, grab it like that, and then go all the way. You see that, feel that gap? Okay. And then watch my brush. So you're going to clean up the residual stuff first. Okay, so it's clean brush now. And then go in and again. Take a little more stuff right there. Okay, if it's too much, then you just go in there and add a little bit. Go in there and just get this stuff. Make sure you fill the hole. Okay. And then I will push those things all the way into the gap right there.
Just gonna move the light a little bit.
Yeah,
kind
sure.
of reflects.
Sure.
Can you still see? Okay. Like that.
Okay. Then I may not see well. So then you can remove the excess. Now you can wait for initial set it. I'm gonna wait there so I cannot really see it though. Is the light too bright?
Not anymore. Do you need the light?
Yeah, I do. Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah. So I just remove all the excess. Now ideally you want to have a smaller brush so that you can go into those little areas. Okay? But if you have any excess, just remove it now rather than later. Okay? So get out all those excess. You want to keep the area as clean as possible. You need to take this one, do that one again, like that. And then always keep your finger there. Hold it so that it doesn't flow into the area. Okay?
So in an actual patient, you would still do that? You hold on to the top of the...
Yeah, if you want to press onto it. And then you can use a clean brush to clean away all the excess. Now, when you get to the interproximal, it's a little more difficult. So you might want to do one interproximal side and then wait for it to set, then you do the other side. That may be more safer rather than trying to tackle both sides at the same time. So every time you come in, you need to have a clear brush, a clean brush, and brush away the excess. Now you can see your margin still kind of jagged. So it will be easy to just do one contact point at a time rather than do two like I did here. You do two, it will be more difficult. So just get rid of the excess as much as you can. Okay? Okay. So now sometimes you can cut this little smaller, like you get a pair of scissors. make it a little smaller. This pieces doesn't work though. So I'm gonna add a much more now. Yeah. So you see, you're gonna fill all the hole, the gap, like that, and then just remove the excess from there. Okay. Every time come in with a clean brush.
I'm gonna move the light a little bit.
Yeah, okay. Okay. So okay, clean brush, go in there and then clean out all the excess. You can also you see this interproximal, just get rid of all the remaining. Okay, so get a piece of sauce like that, put it in water like that, and then make sure you continue holding this one, grab it like that, and then go above it, and then just put it like that. Okay, or you want it to set faster user, I just go take the whole thing and dump it into water. Something like that. And make sure you hold with your fingers still, okay? So you hold it and wait for a couple minutes. It's sealed up already, okay? So remember there was a big gap under the margin all the way into the proximal and all the way to that proximal. Like I said, it's better to do one interproximal first and then let it set like that, and then do another one again, repeat the procedure rather than trying to put two. Otherwise, if you have a little residual stuff stuck in there, it's more difficult to take it out. You know what I'm saying? So do one at a time. And then don't touch anything until it's completely set. If you start to keep playing with that, it's going to cause problems. So always like that. So you can see it's already set. And then right there, you can just, you see this part already set. Right there. See that? Just test it. So almost, if you're not sure, you can let it, and if you still have time, you can let it sit a little longer, just to be more sure. If you take it prematurely, once you take it out, don't try to put it back in. Otherwise, it's going to destroy it only. Yeah. So the best way to do is to wait until everything's set. So this part though, you can see this one, that's the residual coming through here. So if you don't clean it enough, that's what happened. Okay, so and that's why you don't want to do both sides at the same time, the mesial and the distal. Otherwise, it's going to lock that one completely into the interproximal on both sides. So do one interproximal at one time. So at this time, if we can take it out. So look at the margin. Can you see the nice margin right here? Everything going from here to there. This is the margin that you add. Now at this time, you take a look. If you think you need to add more stuff now. Okay. The good thing is, once you have the internal surface set, you can do whatever you want at the external. For example, you can trim up the excess in the proximal leaf first, put it back in, and start to add the thickness to it. You see what I'm saying? So now, you see the interproximal, you get all this excess. You get all those excess. Trim it off with the burr. Either this one or the other one. This one. Trim it first, and then put it back in. Then we can add. If you look from the side, you can see there's a kind of thin at the marginal area. You can add more monomer and the powder, and then you can add right there. With this one on the tooth though, put it back in after you trim the interproximal. Then you on the tooth, sitting there, and then you can add some more. So we'll quickly trim this one off a little bit right here, right there, and try not to touch the contact point. Okay, just trim this marginal area and trim that marginal area. Okay, so let me see if it's going to be a little mess if I go up here, but because of that, let's do it. So let's do it. So you see right there. Right there. Okay. Like that. Okay, same thing on this side. So you don't touch the margin, but you just work around it. Like that. Okay. Then you just trim up a little bit right there. Then we're going to put it back in. Now, if you're not sure on this one, add a little bit more Vaseline to it. Okay. So, yeah, I probably need another brush because so put the Vaseline here again, and then make sure go into the crevice so that it doesn't lock the whole thing in there. Okay, and get rid of the excess. And then we're going to put this one in. Dry. I will dry the surface first. Put the monomer on top of it again, just to activate it, and then put the whole thing in here. Now you see that the gaps are all sealed up now. You see that? Interproximal, they are sealed. Okay, but the morphology is not matching this one. So I'm gonna add a little more up here, so that you can trim it to the nice morphology. So add a little bit more like that. Take a little bit more, and then just build up the surface like that. Every time you come in, you pick a new one, make sure you clean up the brush. So put a little monomer. Don't get it too wet. If you think it's too wet, you can dry it a little bit right there. Okay. If you get it too wet, it's going to slump. The whole material is going to slump over it, and then so this much. You can add a big blob right there, and then get a little monomer, and then step it over here. You see, now you can push onto the margin just like that. So you see that we're building up the morphology right there. Okay, so and then try to move the material to where you want it to be. Try to blend it with the adjacent morphology. Add a little more. So you can put it over here. Get it more. Like that, right? So and with practice you can do this one very fast. Okay, now before it settles, clean up your brush and then come in here and then just push away all this excess right there. Right, so that you don't have the excess blocking your margin. Like that, okay? And then you can keep adding the monomer before you get a chance to go into the water bath. And then take a look and see if there's anything you need to add, or just get the monomer up there and then clean it like that. Like that, okay? Look. Okay. Just like that. And then we're going to put it back into the water bath again. Get a clean brush and brush away all the excess. Like that. The water again. Okay. Put in the water. Go in there. Go like that. The water doesn't need to be hot. It could be warm or whatsoever. It's better than air dry. Air dry will become very chalky and it will not be smooth. So you keep this one, you take it out. All you need to just trim it and then lightly pumice it. It will be very smooth. Okay. And then the water will help to condense everything also. The water pressure will press everything, compact everything. Okay. So I'm going to let it dry and then you can trim the margin or trim the morphology to where it's supposed to be. Okay. If you have more time, you can play with the morphology, make it nicer before you set it. Okay.